You felt it, didn't you? That stillness in the air, that sacred pause in time, when your eyes met. It wasn't attraction. It was remembrance. Something ancient stirred within them the moment you entered the room. And from that very first second, their soul recognized yours. The angels say, she didn't walk into your life. She returned. You see, this wasn't an encounter. It was a reunion. Heaven orchestrated it long before either of you knew how to spell the word love. In the silent corners of their mind, they've searched for someone like you for years, but only when they stopped searching, you appeared. As if summoned by a longing they couldn't name. They didn't choose to fall for you. The truth is, they never had a choice. The angels have whispered in their heart since that first glance, there she is. The one who will awaken everything you've buried. And that is exactly what you've done. Not by trying. Just by being. Your presence cracked something open in them, something no one had touched before. They were living safely behind their masks, content with surface feelings and temporary comforts. Until you showed up with your truth, your eyes, your silence. And everything changed. This person might not say it out loud. They might pretend they're not affected. But when they saw you, their heart gasped. Their soul stood still. Their future rearranged itself in an instant. And now, nothing makes sense without you in it. You didn't seduce. You didn't chase. You simply existed, and that was enough to unravel years of walls. And while they may deny it, run from it, or call it coincidence, the divine knows better. That moment was a spiritual appointment. So if you've ever wondered if you were just imagining it, you weren't. That moment was real. Timeless. Eternal. You were not just seen. You were recognized. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in their hearts. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11. They want to love you. They truly do. But there's a storm inside them, quiet, ancient, and deeply misunderstood. The angels say, you touched a wound they never knew had a name. You see, they carry stories written in silence. Childhood shadows, old betrayals, times they gave too much and were left empty. Not all scars scream. Some sit quietly behind smiles and polite distance. And this person, dear soul, is a master at hiding what hurts. That's why sometimes they pull away right when things feel real. You didn't do anything wrong. You were just genuine enough to reach what others only skimmed. And that scared them. Your energy didn't demand, it mirrored. And when someone reflects your truest self, the unhealed parts rise to the surface, begging to be seen. They don't know how to explain this to you, why your kindness makes them tremble, why your presence feels both like safety and exposure. They crave your warmth but fear it too. Because in your eyes, they can't hide. In your words, they remember who they were before the world taught them to protect themselves with distance. There are parts of them still afraid of joy, still convinced that intimacy always ends in pain. And even now, as they think of you, their heart aches, not because of something you did, but because they don't yet believe they are worthy of something this sacred. You were the prayer they never voiced out loud. And now they don't know how to receive the blessing. So if they've been distant, confusing, or silent, it's not rejection. It's recognition. Your love doesn't just attract them, it exposes the places where they forgot how to feel. You are not the cause of their retreat. You are the catalyst of their healing. And slowly, so slowly, they're starting to see that. There's a part of you that's tired of wondering. Tired of giving, hoping, and holding space in silence. Only to be met with half-answers and invisible walls. And yet, something deep within you keeps whispering, don't dim your light. The angels say, you are the sanctuary, not the sacrifice. Loving someone on a journey doesn't mean you have to disappear from your own. You weren't meant to abandon yourself while waiting for them to figure out what they already feel. You were meant to shine, to hold your essence with reverence, not to contort yourself into shapes that fit their wounds. And yes, it's beautiful to care, to be gentle, to see their soul beyond the chaos. but not at the expense of your own voice. Don't shrink yourself so they can feel safe. Don't silence your needs because they seem louder. You are not here to be a mirror for their healing alone. You are here to rise, too. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is to keep your joy sacred. To nurture your own garden while they decide if they're ready to meet you where you are. They are drawn to you because you are whole. Don't compromise your integrity to make the connection easier. The way you love yourself teaches them how to love you. Your boundaries are not walls, they are doors to deeper truths. And the more you honor yourself, the more clearly they will see the path to your heart. So rest, dear soul. Let go of the pressure to carry what isn't yours. You are not losing them. You are finding yourself. And the more you root into your own truth, the more the right souls will come, not out of need but resonance. Your light was never meant to flicker for someone to notice it. It was meant to blaze unapologetically, so they remember their own fire too. You didn't ask to be their mirror, but you became one the moment your eyes met. The angels say, your light made their shadows visible. What you brought into their life wasn't chaos. It was clarity. And clarity is terrifying when someone has built their identity on confusion. When you stepped into their world, it was as if the universe whispered, look at what's been hidden. They saw themselves through you. Not just the good parts, the dreams, the potential, the tenderness, but also the fears, the patterns, the wounds they pretended weren't there. You didn't expose them. Your presence simply reflected what was always waiting beneath the surface. And that's why they feel both drawn to you and afraid. Because to love you fully, they would have to face themselves. No masks. No excuses. Just truth. That's not something everyone is ready for. You were not meant to fix them. You were meant to remind them of who they were before they forgot. Of the parts they buried to survive. Of the love they crave but don't yet know how to hold. You are not intimidating. You are revealing. And some souls tremble in the face of that kind of honesty. So if they've backed away, been silent, or avoided your gaze, it's not because they don't feel. It's because they feel too much. And that intensity, when mirrored back, can look a lot like fear. But don't dim your reflection, dear soul. Keep showing up as truth. Keep loving from the deep. Because whether or not they say it, you are shifting something sacred inside them. And that shift will echo, even in your absence. There is something shifting. Quietly, but undeniably. You may not see it yet, but the angels do. They say, a heart once numb has begun to feel. At first, it's subtle. A memory that lingers longer than it should. A sudden wave of longing with no clear cause. A name, your name, that keeps appearing in unexpected places. That's how the soul begins to wake up. And this person, they're waking. They're seeing you in flashes now. Not just as you are, but as you've always been. A presence that stirs, that awakens, that asks without words, are you ready to feel again? This awakening didn't come from logic. It came from ache. From the way your absence makes them restless. From how every distraction eventually leads back to you. From dreams that whisper what pride still tries to silence. They are beginning to question what they once thought was safe. To wonder if maybe, just maybe, the love they've been searching for isn't in the future. It's you. It's here. And yet, they won't tell you this. Not yet. Because awakening is not a declaration. It's a slow unfurling. A shedding of old skins. But the angels show me glimpses. They pause before replying to your messages. They replay your words in their mind. They wonder what it would feel like to finally say, I see you. And I feel it too. This isn't the end. This is the beginning. And though it may come quietly, like the soft opening of a flower before dawn, it's real. The soul doesn't need permission to remember. It only needs presence. And you, dear soul, have always been that. They come close, then vanish. Say something tender, then retreat into silence. And each time, your heart aches with the question, why? The angels say, it is not rejection. It is rhythm. What you're feeling is not a lack of love, it's the echo of an internal war. This person is caught between the pull of destiny and the grip of fear. Between the soul that recognizes you and the mind that doesn't know what to do with that recognition. And so, the cycle repeats. Because each time they come close, they feel too much. And each time they run, they miss you more. You are not just a person to them. You are a mirror of all they could be, all they are afraid to want. And a desire this deep terrifies those who've been betrayed by their own hopes before. So they go. And they come back. Not to toy with your heart, but because their own can't decide if it's safer to love you, or to lose you before it hurts more. The angels want you to know, this is not your fault. You didn't create their chaos. You simply revealed it. And the soul, once stirred, doesn't quietly return to slumber. If you've questioned your worth in their absence, stop. Their distance speaks more about their inner storm than your value. In fact, it's because you matter so deeply that they don't know how to stay yet. But here's the divine truth. What is meant for your soul will always return, not out of guilt, but gravity. And when they finally stop running, it won't be because they figured everything out. It'll be because they grew weary of living without the peace your presence brings. This cycle will break. Not through force, but surrender. Not through pursuit, but presence. You are not here to wait. You are here to witness. Your love didn't arrive with grand proclamations. It came quietly, like gentle rain falling where the soul had long been dry. The angels say, you didn't heal them with effort. You healed them by simply being. In a world that taught them to brace for impact, your presence has been the first place they exhaled. You didn't fix them. You didn't ask them to be different. You merely stayed, soft, steady, true. And that, dear soul, is the most powerful kind of healing. They may not express it, but they feel it. In the calm that follows your voice. In the silence that doesn't demand, but holds. In the way your gaze sees beyond their masks and calls out something softer. This love, it's medicine. Not because it solves everything, but because it reminds them they don't have to be fixed. You have touched places in them no one else could reach. Not with grand gestures, but with stillness. You have rewritten the meaning of intimacy, not as exposure, but as safety. Even when they push you away, even when fear speaks louder than their heart, something in them remembers the way you made them feel. The way your love didn't demand proof or perfection, just presence. And though they may struggle to give it back, know this, the healing has already begun. Your love seeped into the cracks. It lingers in their breath. It echoes in their still moments. It is reteaching their heart a new rhythm, one that doesn't begin in fear, but in gentleness. You did not arrive in their life by chance. You were sent as a balm. And even if they never say it, your name has become a prayer their soul repeats. They are learning to love. Because you first loved them as they were. There are no accidents in love written by heaven. The angels say, your connection was carved into the stars before time had a name. Even in moments of silence, even when it feels like things are falling apart, there is order. Divine. Precise. Sacred. This person didn't cross your path by chance. And you didn't feel all of this for no reason. What you're experiencing is not emotional chaos, it's spiritual alignment. The ache you feel isn't emptiness. It's recognition of a bond too vast for words. They are being led. And so are you. Right now, the divine is moving pieces you can't see. Detours are being made sacred. Delays are turning into preparation. The silence you fear is actually space being carved for truth. The angels are not asking you to understand. They are asking you to trust. Because there is a plan unfolding. Not just for them. For you. A plan that doesn't require your exhaustion or over-explanation. A plan that says, rest, daughter. Let me carry what you cannot. Let me show you what your love was always meant to become. The timing of your hearts was not misaligned. It was being tuned, like instruments created to harmonize when both are ready. And they will be ready. Because love whispered their name long before you did. And heaven is echoing it now. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Psalm 37 verse 23. They appear composed, unbothered even. But inside, the walls are trembling. The angels say, this person isn't cold. They are terrified. To love you would mean letting go of control. It would mean handing over the keys to a heart that has only ever known how to lock itself shut. And that kind of surrender? It's terrifying when all you've ever known is survival. There's a softness in them, buried beneath years of armor. And you, dear soul, made it stir. They didn't expect to feel this much. To care this deeply. To fear losing someone who never asked them to change, only to feel. And now with every moment they think of you, their soul aches, not from doubt, but from the weight of wanting and not knowing how to hold it. They've been taught that love is a risk. That opening up means being hurt. And yet, you showed them something different. Something that doesn't demand, but invites. Something that doesn't pressure, but quietly pulses at the edges of their being. They're not resisting you. They're resisting the part of themselves that believes they're not enough. And while they may not have the words, the angels say this: they long to be known by you. Truly known. And that longing, it scares them more than they can admit. So be patient, not with their silence, but with your own heart. Because every time you chose tenderness over demand, grace over reaction, their soul noticed. They may never say it out loud, but you've already become a place they long to run to. And one day, when the weight of their armor is too much, they will. You've done enough. You've felt enough. You've prayed and cried and waited. Enough. The angels say, now, dear soul, it's time to release. Release the need to understand everything. Release the ache of trying to make sense of someone else's fear. Release the timeline you secretly held in your heart. What is divine doesn't rush. You were never meant to carry this love like a burden. You were meant to experience it as a blessing. Let it breathe. Let it find its own way home. Because if it's truly meant to be, it will. You've planted seeds of light, of truth, of tenderness in places this person had sealed off for years. And those seeds will bloom, whether or not you are there to witness it. Your love was never small. It was expansive, bold, and sacred. It reached into the unseen and declared, you are worth loving. And now, your only job is to believe that this same love is yours too. Not just to give, but to receive. Maybe this person will return. Maybe they'll say the words you've longed to hear. Maybe they won't. But none of that will change this truth: you are not incomplete. You are not waiting to be chosen. You already are. The love you offered was not wasted. It was woven into eternity. And nothing that comes from the soul is ever lost. I am the Lord. In its time I will do this swiftly. Isaiah 60 verse 22. You may never get the answers you desire, but you will always receive the healing you need. Let that be enough. Let yourself rest in the embrace of something larger. Because what is yours will always find its way.